Here's a BSA A65 that I've been working on recently, and as you can clearly see, there's no engine in it now. Things took a turn for the worst when I started looking at some basic stuff. I wouldn't usually film something like this, but this is just a new one completely on me, and if it helps one person with one of these BSAs, and I think Triumphs are the same as well, all well and good. It started off with a mysterious problem where it looked like there was an internal break possibly in the pipework in the oil tank, because when the engine was running you could see disturbance and bubbles coming up from the oil in the tank, but nothing coming out the return pipe at the filler cap. And also there's a small pipe there that comes out the top of the oil tank, which wasn't connected to anything. It's meant to be connected to the cylinder head to feed the rockers and the valves, and there's no oil coming out of that either. Anyway, it turns out that despite being recently rebuilt, the engine, I think they'd done pretty much everything with it, and they'd managed to get the oil pipes connected up the wrong way round. They're actually meant to cross over one another, but in this case they ran parallel, so the feed pipe to the engine was connected to the return on the tank and vice versa, and I think the engine had just been running on oil that was put in the crankcase, probably just an initial half pint or pint that they would have put in there just to prime the engine ready as it started up, and should have taken oil from the oil tank and fed it round and returned it. Instead of that, it was just splash lubricating everything on what little oil there was in the crankcase and blowing bubbles back to the oil tank, with the result that the big ends in the connecting rods were completely shot. It was sounding quite metallic. We'll have a look at the crank and see whether that needs a regrind or whether just polishing up and new shells might do it. The notorious time inside bush, which is okay to a point, is totally shot, because obviously that's been starved of oil as well, and they don't like that, so it'll have to have a new one of those. And whoever rebuilt the engine even mismatched the conrod halves. We've got 959 on that one, and the wrong way round we've got 936 on that one, and 936 and 959 on that one, so they've even mismatched them. And not only that, if it had run for any length of time, which is doubtful, it would have probably blown up anyway, because they'd forgotten to tighten the nuts up on the big end caps. So all in all, I suppose it's just as well that this engine was sort of spotted in this condition at the time it was, rather than being left to run for longer, and it would have probably gone bang and blown itself to smithereens. So at least it can be saved, but that is one to watch out for on the BSAs and Triumphs, is the oil pipes. They're supposed to cross as they appear to be doing now, but they weren't at the time. They were connected to the engine like that. That is how they're meant to be. Get that wrong and your engine's ready to go in the bin at very short notice. So I'll give it a complete rebuild now and put everything right, and connect the oil pipes up the right way round. That might help.